Look, I think it's time that I send a message to Logan Paul. The Prime experiment is over with. It's done. It's finished. It's canceled. Crack them open. Pour them down the drain. Look, we all know who Logan Paul is. Content creator extraordinaire who is an OG in the game, but also somebody that's very controversial. A name that's always going to be in the zeitgeist between him and his brother in their boxing endeavors. And then we've all heard of the Prime energy drink. Content creator's dream. Stepping into a new field and world by introducing a product like never before seen. It's really just a Body Armor Gatorade Monster energy drink copycat clone that KSI and Logan Paul put their face on. And to be quite fair to them, at the beginning stages of the company, it was extremely successful. Who knew that content creators could step into a different lane and find such wild success? And when you couple that with the boxing endeavors that the Paul brothers had at the time, it really shot Prime into the mainstream. However, it seems that good things do come to an end. So first of all, a lot of athletes were getting hit with what's known as the Prime curse. Prime energy drinks in the company decided to sponsor a whole bunch of athletes, and they've all been taking a bunch of losses left, right, and sideways in the ring. We can see Devin Haney, we can see Izzy, we can see Volk, and hell, we can even see Logan Paul himself. Not taking a loss in the ring, but one outside of the ring. Take a loss in that home life, if you get what I'm saying. They also signed to some soccer clubs and some football players on those teams, and to be honest with you, it just hasn't hit pay dirt like they thought it would, especially when they're facing their new biggest challenge, a lawsuit that is threatening the company. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that they had lawsuits against the company. Prime energy drink surprisingly has a lot of caffeine in it, and people found some sort of grievances with that, so they took them to court for that. Prime energy drink had over 200 milligrams of caffeine. Now, to put that in comparison, if you take the caffeine that's in coffee, if you take the caffeine that's in an espresso, if you take the caffeine that's in a Red Bull, a Monster, or some of the other competitive energy drinks, Prime energy is like double what they have, which can cause a lot of heart problems. And we've seen caffeine drinks cause heart problems with Panera Bread and their whole lemonade fiasco that had people literally die from drinking their lemonade. And now, trust me, that's a disgusting amount of caffeine. Those can lead to heart attacks and other complications, especially with people who have other health risks while taking the energy drink. And I'm pretty sure that there's not some explicit label that says, hey, consult your doctor before you take this caffeine drink. That's kind of a thought process already, but nobody's really thinking about that. There's really no reason to put that much caffeine in an energy drink, to be quite honest with you. But on top of that caffeine lawsuit they're facing, they're also facing a lawsuit for having too many PFAs in their drink, specifically the grape flavored drink. Now, PFAs are these chemicals that can be put into substances that slowly break down over time, but the problem with the PFAs and the caffeine is that Prime energy drink is supposed to be marveled as this healthy alternative to, you know, some sort of energy drink or caffeine supplement, etc., etc. But the whole time it seems like Logan Paul and KSI have been lying to us directly about what's really going on in the drinks. The PFA's lawsuit was first brought out by this person, Elizabeth Castillo, who was seeking $5 million by saying the product is not accurately marketed for what's specifically in the drink.
Boy just got leukemia after drinking Prime, and the internet is currently terrified. One can of Prime is said to have more forever chemicals than you should ever have in your whole entire life. Right now, Prime is experiencing a class action lawsuit, and they're going viral, but all for the wrong reason. But theoretically, this lawsuit could not even be true. I mean, it's still getting filed. At this point, it doesn't even matter. Within the last couple days, the internet has just destroyed Prime completely. Personally, I've seen several videos of people talking about how they hate Prime and will not drink anymore.
See, now, to be honest with you, stuff like that is disgusting to me, only because how does a boy drink 2, 3, or 4 cans of Prime energy drink and he gets leukemia? Or it could be a whole made-up story in order to get people to drive traffic to whatever cause they have going on. I mean, the drink has literally been only out for like a couple years at this point, so somebody would have to have been drinking Prime to the prime degree in order for somebody to get leukemia. And honestly, I don't even think that that's how that works. I'm trying to think of how much Coke I would have to drink on a daily basis for the next couple years in order to get like diabetes of some sort. That's just people don't even make the grifts and the scams obvious. And hey, not that I'm defending Logan Paul by any stretch of the means, but we've got to be more serious. People jump to cancellation for these types of things when somebody's livelihood is on the line. And you know, Logan Paul, he can make money from other places, but we shouldn't just be okay with being in a culture that says, hey, we can launch a lawsuit every time that somebody is disgruntled with somebody else. So I'm glad that Logan Paul took his time to respond to these claims as to what's going on.
Not only is there a lawsuit against Logan Paul's company Prime for there being PFOs, which are forever chemicals, chemicals in the Prime hydration drink.
First off, anyone can sue anyone at any time. That does not make the lawsuit true, and in this case, it is not. There's claims that PFOS or forever chemicals come from plastic. So in this case, they're not talking about the actual drink, the liquid Prime. They're talking about the bottle that Prime is manufactured in. This ain't a rinky-dink operation. We use the top bottle manufacturers. Accordingly, we follow Title 21 for the Code of Regulations for PET and all other types of bottles. The products are manufactured by our company in a manner compliant with all pertinent and current good manufacturing practices by the United States Food and Drug Administration. Let's say they're talking about the drink itself. Here's where their argument really falls apart. They're claiming that Prime has 0.06 ppt, parts per trillion. But that's interesting because the EPA says that anything under 1.1 ppt cannot be deemed as reasonably accurate, meaning they don't have the right tools or resources to even prove what they're claiming. And that's just the detection limit. Your own state will not even take action unless it's over 40 parts per trillion.
See, and the problem with people doing all these studies and researches and things like that is the fact that they don't even have a real credibility to their name. You could have literally gotten a real scientist to run these tests, but no, you need somebody to confirm your biases and your beliefs. So you have a lawyer, somebody who didn't study any sort of science at all, run the test. I mean, that's literally just stupid. Now, the sad thing about it is these lawsuits tend to stick and they'll be settled out of court. And the main thing that somebody in this case that is making a claim wants to happen will happen. A lot of people are turning their back on Prime as we speak. And that's because, one, they already have some sort of issue with the Paul brothers and whoever else is behind Prime. And two, this is not the first time they've had issues with the Prime product. Hell, even KSI, somebody who was also on the ownership group of Prime, has shared his grievances with the product.
How much can I sell this for on the internet?
Well, if you're Wakey Wines,
Right,
like 25, 30 quid.
But they're selling Prime, but like, you must love it because there's all this demand around it. But how do you actually see it? Like,
so I don't like the reselling.
It's inflated.
I hate the reselling. I'm there. So like, even when Asda tried to up their price to £2.50, I was tweeting them like, no, this is out of order. This isn't Prime doing this. This is Asda. And instantly they brought it back down to £2.
And you see, the real jacked up part about it is it's not necessarily the company who is reselling. It's not the resellers themselves. It's not anybody that's creating content about Prime that's gonna get hit with an issue from the public internet's opinion. It's literally gonna be KSI and the Paul brother organization conglomerate that's gonna be square one, dead center of everybody's scrutiny and criticism about Prime the product. And I do not think that that is fair. People say all publicity is good publicity, but after a certain amount of time, if everybody is literally bagging on you, that is gonna hurt your name publicly. Because sadly, what happens is people get more views, praise, and recognition for pointing out the bad, but they never do point out the good. So it looks like Tommy the lawyer showed light on the issues with the case and he came back and apologized. However, we know that that's not what's gonna drive clicks and traffic.
I did a video about a week ago talking about a class action lawsuit that was filed against Prime Hydration. As I've been reflecting, I think this might be a good lesson for all of us on social media, that sometimes it's okay to pause. It's okay to check your position. That doesn't make you weak. And the truth of the matter is, Logan Paul is a young, gritty entrepreneur. And I respect him because I know when you're young, you do too well too quick, what happens is you get targets on your back.
Well, no shit, Sherlock. I wish you would have did that before you made a video that got millions upon millions of views on one singular platform. And then, like I said earlier, looking on this page, that video of him recanting or kind of backsliding on his statements only got about 500,000 views. It's just crazy the way that the internet works. I don't know how much more of this type of publicity that Prime can get, but I'm hoping that they can get out of the weeds by maybe winning some more fights, sponsoring the right athlete, and getting a better name for themselves. And for the love of God, please take some of that damn caffeine out of the drink. It's actually getting kind of ridiculous. But let me know what you guys think. Should there be ramifications or repercussions for people that bring on these unjust lawsuits as opposed to just settling out of court? What should happen to these people?